Alright, so I'm finna go from just doing it on a daily document and just updating when I feel like it's something of relevance or significance to share, because it's a lot of confusion, a lot of things that are conflicting information, and it's a lot of things that people are doing that they may want to pump the brakes on doing before they do it. Specifically, paying a tax. And before I get into that, could this be the end of BG Wealth sharing? I don't know. Again, only time will tell. But there's some lingering pieces of information and pockets of things that I'm seeing that's making it seem like this too shall pass. But it's definitely a lot of things that are questionable about this moment. Now, of course, all of the naysayers, everybody who's been saying what they've been saying, they're gonna come out and of course, they're gonna look like experts. I told y'all this and that. Listen, when it hit the fan, everybody say they smelled it before it came. That's typically how it works. Hindsight 2020. But this is something I want the members to be aware of, because they're talking about the tax that needs to be paid. That's questionable, because typically a tax is paid when money has been withdrawn, like when gains have been realized. So if this is an investment, capital gains have not been realized if it's still in the account, but they want you to pay a tax on the amount that's in the account. That's questionable. So I want you to, steer clear from that. There's some people who have already done it. They said they were going to bite the bullet, but that's questionable. But this is what I really want to point out, and you just got to connect the dots on certain things, so you don't dig a deeper hole or be out of more money and put yourself in a situation, because many people already have money tied into it, to where everybody's taking an L if this thing fails. However, don't add more money if it's not going to be to your benefit. And this is what I want you to make note of. Now, if you look at the last time you added money to your DSJ exchange, I want you to go look at that address that you sent it to. Go look at that. For me, it was USDT, ERC20. Look at what you sent it to. It's always good to pay attention to the first four digits and the last four digits. I put the screenshots up here. Also, I want you to log into your DSG exchange. I ended up finding a link that worked successfully, and I was able to log in and then click on the ERC20 tether. And that's not the same address that I sent money to previously. So if the screenshots are here, then you'll see it. If not, I want you to just check it for yourself. But the accounts don't match. Meaning that something has been changed about it, to the point where if you send something in there, it's going somewhere else. Now, is that the intent? I don't know. But that's something to be mindful of, because the wallet changed altogether. Mine didn't match. Now, if yours matches, then it's all another thing. But if yours does not match, that's another thing to definitely be mindful of. And I don't want people to just be saying, yeah, I just paid the tax because I'm riding it out through the long haul. I believe in BG. Listen, I believe in the power of what BG Wealth Sharing is doing as well, or could do, or was doing, or the potential it could have had, or whatever tense you want to put it in, whether it's present or past tense, depending on where it's going. But don't be naive even to the level of saying, I'm willing to just pay a tax on unrealized gains. You see what I'm saying? See, the tax should be on realized gains, not unrealized gains, meaning that if you didn't withdraw and realize those gains by withdrawing that money and actually touching that money, putting it into some type of taxable account, then that's paying taxes on an unrealized gain. And that's not typically how taxes work. Not in America, so that's not typically how it works, but that's what some of the verbiage is saying. It's another group where it's looking as though the professor is saying, hey, we've been hacked. If they tell you to pay something, do not pay it, yada, yada. But who's to say which one is real, what's the most valid information? So at that point, you got to look out for you. You have to look out for your best interest going forward. Of course, if things have played out in a way to where the DSJ exchange ceases to exist, it's a lot of money lost. I'll just say that. Or a lot of paper profits lost. For those of you who've been in for a while, hopefully you was able to get in, at least pull out your seed money or your initial investment and have house money in there. That's the ultimate goal that you want to have happen. But for many people who was not able to do that, then that's where it's very, very unfortunate. Now, what you don't want to do is continue to add money chasing something that is unclear, is not certain, and just in hopes of things going in your favor. You got to take a step back and say, okay, something ain't right. Something is off. Something's, all of these pieces of information is conflicting one another. I'm not gonna, should I add more money? Like, really pay attention to those things. I'm just here to just kind of be a voice of reason, but hopefully you're connected to, someone who brought you in, who brought them in, somebody on the higher up that can give you some insight. But it's a good chance that they don't know as well. Anybody who's telling you they know exactly how it's gonna play out, exactly what's gonna happen, is 9 times out of 9.5 lying. Because how could they possibly know for sure? So I wouldn't trust anybody who's saying this is exactly how it's gonna happen. But what I am saying is, pay attention to this, pay attention to that. Look at these numbers. Do they match? If they don't, think twice. And it's something else I'm gonna share that could be something that you / we can do due to the fact if this did turn out to be, like a big scam, rug pull, whatever the case may be, something that we can consider doing that may, I don't know, call or allow people to recoup some funds. Just a maybe. I'm not sure. I gotta look deeper into it. It's an official, website, but everybody knew for the most part that investment has risk. You're investing at your own risk. Only invest what you're willing to lose. So a lot of us gotta eat what we invested into. In other words, we gotta lay in the bed that was made, so to speak, me included. But there are some solutions and things that I'm looking into, so that way when I come here, I'm not coming here with premature information. It's something that I've looked into a little bit more, and something that you can consider doing or taking action on. Again, not financial advice, and not, telling you what to do, just giving options. And if you decide that these things are right for you, then so be it. If not, no big deal as well. But I want you to look at those numbers. I'm not telling you what to do in this situation, but I do want you to look at how the numbers don't match. And if the numbers don't match, and that's not the original account you deposited money in, that should be questionable enough for you to not just want to put more money in that account. If you go in there and copy that address. Now, granted, if you go send it directly to the address you originally sent it to, but that's not the one that's showing in your DS exchange, where's that gonna go? So you gotta recheck all numbers. Even if we're able to get back into the DS exchange and withdraw some of the money that's on the account, pay attention to those numbers as well. Do not assume that the numbers that were there initially are the same numbers that are now or they're current. That's the thesis of this video. The numbers that I showed on the screen did not match. That said, treat it as though that's not the same account and you don't know where it's going. Still keep your head on the swivel and pay attention to any updates and things of that nature. And if you know some things that I don't know, feel free to share, because I'm a student as well, and I'm, it's things that you can teach or mention to me that allows me to be more aware in certain areas. So I'm here to say that, I can learn from you as well. I'm just sharing something that I observed based on me looking at something somebody else mentioned. And I said, okay, I got to share this with the people, because somebody may fall victim to giving more money and more money when these accounts don't match. And I think they are supposed to, because otherwise you're sending it to where? You don't know where it went. And even if you send it to the original account, where's that going if that's not what's showing in your DSJ exchange? So something has changed. That being said, that's all I got for this video. Do not click any links to try to enroll or anything like that, obviously. But nonetheless, do not, I'm not sending funds. Can't tell you what to do. But look at those numbers and just see if yours match. If they do, okay, cool. If they don't, choose wisely. Mr. Smith signing out. See you on the next one. I'm going to come back sooner because there's something else I want to share that I think is urgent enough to share. Talk soon. Salute.